Hey everybody, today I'm going to ask a interesting question that's hit me quite personally. It's, how does God view Asperger's? And I haven't talked about my Asperger's much in years, but as I teach the Word of God, I think it's a good way to just kind of discuss it and see how the Word of God applies in this area. It's a weird phenomenon, especially a case like mine, which comes with actual strengths. I mean, if you ever heard of like people with Asperger's, like they say, which I'm probably at Asperger's, which I think so as well. They say they're really smart, and certainly I'm pretty smart, and you look at the weaknesses and you kind of want to say it's okay when you're struggling with these weaknesses, and we just don't want to put ourselves down because of all the struggles, and so it leads to Asperger's kind of being celebrated. And there's nothing wrong with acknowledging strengths, but the way it's impaired my life, well, I just still didn't have peace and joy, and I was highly discontent with singleness, because a common thing with Asperger's is struggles with romantic relationships. In fact, in Asperger's support groups, that's kind of what I wanted to discuss all the time. And there's absolutely nothing wrong with acknowledging that you have certain strengths. I believe we are all made in the image of God, and as such, there's unique parts of God we all represent. I think all our strengths, there's nothing wrong, and those are from God. Difficulties? No, He doesn't like to see me struggle with difficulties. And with the difficulties or weaknesses or problems, well, it's because I have weak flesh that cannot produce life. And, we look at all our weaknesses, and that's just what it is. I actually found out, if any of you know who Sam McClure is, he was the guy who started McClure's magazine. Media history buffs like myself would recognize him as one of the progressive era muckrakers. I was reading the book The Bully Pulpit, which talked about him quite a bit. He was actually bipolar, and it's another case of, wow, this person with this mental disorder has this real strengths associated with this mental disorder. And that's what I would say is, people who want to make sense of stuff, they struggle with these weaknesses and want to see the great things about them. And here's what I say: whatever it is, whatever your strengths are, yeah, those are from God, and you reflect God in a very unique way. And whatever weaknesses you have weak flesh that can't produce life, but that's okay, because Jesus put on the same weak flesh we have, and His flesh couldn't produce life, but God raised Him from the dead, and He is no longer struggling with weakness of the flesh. And when Jesus returns, we're raised from the dead, and we're given immortality like Jesus, we're not going to have to deal with the weakness of the flesh anymore. I'm James M. Tuttle, and that's good news.